Welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers. I'm Chris McGee alongside Mike Bresnahan and Mike Trudell. Gentlemen, welcome. Big three.
Yeah.
Put myself in there. Playoff week. I know you're all excited about it.
Brez, I'm excited about the playoffs about to start. There remains this kind of level of uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
But I think what I've been impressed with is J.J. Redick and his staff to kind of, hey, look, this is the group that it is right now. And they do have confidence that they can find a way to get it done. So it's up to everyone else, I think, to then not just go straight to Luka and Austin like I did to start the show.
And by the way, if the play-in games are any indication of what the NBA playoffs are going to be like, we are in for a good couple of months.
I'll tell you what, it's also kind of nice, to have fun and watch the play-in games as a fan.
No stress.
As opposed to those years when the Lakers were in them back-to-back, maybe back-to-back seasons. Don't have to worry about that anymore.
They're so much more enjoyable. And by the way, the Warriors.
Yeah, Steph and Draymond last night, huh?
Beat the Clippers last night.
How about
Draymond
that?
just locking up Kawhi.
Really did.
Fourth, wow.
Yeah, Steph reaching into his bag of magic.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Still hasn't scored.
Tough season for the Clippers. All right, a look at the series schedule, which tips off on Saturday at Crypto 5:30 on ABC. Then you got a couple of days off. Tuesday, it's a 7:30 game on NBC. And then Game 3, the 24th. Game 4, the 26th. Remember, those will be in Houston. And after that, it is all TBD. So I want to start with just Game 1 Saturday, guys. And we're going to get to your top storylines later in the show. But big picture here for me, a week to prepare. How important is Game 1 at home? And you can throw Game 2 in there as well. It's really the first time we're going to see this team without Luka and AR against an opponent like the Houston Rockets, and of course, the magnitude of the playoffs. What are you kind of hoping to see from this team, Brez?
Well, if you're the Lakers, if you win Game 1, you kind of set the tone like, okay, this can happen. This can indeed happen. And right now, the Lakers are not favored to win that game, Mike. Right around 5.5-point underdogs. The odds makers thinking Houston's going to win this series. So you kind of need to have an us versus the world mindset. And when you have a healthy Luka and Austin, you don't really have to think that way. Obviously, when you have almost 60 points on the bench spectating, then you've got to have that mantra, Mike. And right now, I think if you win Game 1, it really does show this is not going to be a walkover for the Houston Rockets. You set that tone right away in front of your home fans, too.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I think about this is if I had one of the best girls volleyball teams in the country and my coach was Geeter and our best two players got hurt, but I still had a third stud, even if we were the underdog, I'd think I got Geeter here. He's going to put us in the right places here. And so I'm putting J.J. Redick into your spot. And LeBron James, to me, it just goes like I can't completely go to whatever the Vegas line is or whatever like Houston's expectations might be because of how experienced LeBron is in these moments. And then specifically for games 1 and 2, I almost think that you have to look at this if you're the Lakers like more like it's Game 5 or Game 7 at home, which are desperation mode wins because you have to elongate this series to give Luka Doncic, to give Austin Reaves a chance to get back. And it's very difficult to sort of go two routes with that. To, on the one hand, hey guys, this is the team we have, go out and win. But on the other, if you lose these 2 games, maybe you don't even get a chance to come back in Game 5. And then that doesn't give you a chance to go further into the playoffs if you don't get your injured guys back. So a lot of stuff going on. I think that having a coach like you, a coach like J.J. Redick for clarity.
Thank you for putting me in the same
very helpful
conversation with J.J.
Well, I mean,
Redick.
you've got 17 national titles.
Yeah, he doesn't have those, but he is an NBA coach. And we believe in J.J. And by the way, I kind of want to piggyback off what you talked about a moment ago. Listen, is there hope that maybe you can get Luka and AR back? Yes, but as JJ said on Tuesday to the media, listen, they're out indefinitely because this is an all-hands-on-deck series, and we have to move forward with the group that we have, right, Brez? So if you look at it like that, I mean, there's really nothing to lose here for the Lakers. They are huge underdogs in everyone's mind, but these guys believe they can do it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and I like the way they ended the season, too. They had that weird 3-game losing streak a couple weeks ago, and it's like, they're definitely trying to figure things out with no Luka and no AR. Can't blame them for that, Mike. But I like the way they finished that last week of the regular season. And I thought there were some nice step-ups. I thought Luke Kennard looked good.
Yep.
I thought Jackson Hayes and Ayton kind of took turns manning the center position with pretty good talent and ability. And You're starting to see, Rui obviously had a couple good games there as well in that last week. You're starting to see ways that they can get around the underdog status. And you just got to keep that momentum going, Geet.
It's a little tough to read into those 3 games too, because I'm with you, Brez. Like on the one hand, you want to flip the feeling, just the ill feeling that came out of the injuries that happened at OKC, and then on the flip side, Golden State was very shorthanded in that game. We know that Utah didn't put a competitive roster out there, but Phoenix did, and it was a back-to-back. And in that game, I think we saw enough to make you think, all right, this Laker team here right now. You have to forget about Doncic and Reaves right now. They are still a good competitive team. Now, is their ceiling anywhere near what it was when they're fully healthy? Not at all. But can that team play with Houston? And the answer to me is yes. Like, Houston won a lot of games down the stretch, but they didn't beat a lot of good teams. They have a high floor and, to me, a lower ceiling than, say, an OKC, a San Antonio, even a Denver, and even a Minnesota, frankly. So towards that end, this is not a juggernaut Houston team. It's a very good Houston team. You have to play very well to beat them, but they can be beaten by this Lakers team even without getting their guys back, at least in the short term. So that's the way that I would put it, Geeter. Like, they do have a chance to win these games.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the postseason playoff bracket starting in the East. The #1 overall seed, Detroit Pistons, still awaiting their opponent. Will it be Charlotte or will it be Orlando? I think NBA fans want to see Charlotte because that would be a really fun series. 4-5, Cleveland and Toronto. There's a team in Cleveland that has a lot to prove. New York Knicks and Atlanta, upset alert. Atlanta, one of the hottest teams in the league. That should be a really fun series. And then, of course, the rivals, Boston Celtics in the 2 seed, taking on the Sixers in 7. Now we take a look at the Western Conference.
Here we go.
The Oklahoma City Thunder will play the winners of Golden State versus Phoenix.
The winner of that
tomorrow night.
Sixers,
Golden State with that big comeback
game
in the 4th quarter at Intuit Dome to take down the Clippers and end their season. Lakers and Rockets in the 4 and 5. Denver and Minnesota in the 3-6. Spurs and the Blazers. How about the young Blazers? They were in that 9-10 spot for almost the entire back half of the year. A late surge, beating the Clippers at the end of the season, winning that tiebreak, and then beating Phoenix in a thriller on the road. They play the San Antonio Spurs. So there's your playoff bracket broken down for you. And Mike Trudell, I'm going to start with you because before we dive deeper into the playoffs in this series, as a person who watched and covered all 82 games for the Lakers, and Brez and I did this the other day on our show, 53 wins. Some amazing moments, battling injuries literally from day #1 on. Pretty impressive. From your standpoint, have you had a chance to kind of just think back to what a great year that was?
Extremely impressive, Geeter. I think that, the 3 of us sat on this desk before the season, and we did the thing where we try to pick where everyone's going to land in the standings and all that. And when you're doing that, you always assume a certain level of health. And if the 3 of us had had the same conversation, Brez, you told me, well, LeBron, Luka, and Austin, not one of them is going to play 65 games.
Yeah, we're going to have 73 games missed between the 3 of them.
You know what Geeter and I would have said back to you, Brez? Playing at best. Right? Just that's how good the West is. That's how deep things are. And so give credit to the staff with JJ Redick and his crew. Give credit to the role players. And give credit to the stars when available, finding out exactly or doing exactly what they needed to get wins. So I think that it's a super impressive season. And it's always difficult to square that with what the Lakers franchise expectations are, because the franchise is always going to be wanting to go championship. That's the standard.
Yeah.
And here, though, I still think they're kind of building towards this, what they hope is a long future around Luka Doncic, around Austin Reaves, and then we'll see what happens with LeBron. But the regular season itself, Geeter, an outright success.
If I'm a Laker fan, I want 2 things. I want my team to win, and I want to be entertained as well. And I thought the Lakers, this team in particular, did both those things. I mean, they were fun to watch, period. And so many great games down the stretch. They were so good in crunch time. I know, Mike, you recited that stat quite a bit in your pre- and post-game stuff. And they were incredible in the last 5 minutes. The differentiation in close games was almost reliable. It was like, okay, they're going to win this game. It's close, but they're going to be okay. I thought Luka and AR were a fun backcourt. LeBron, happily taking that third role, that third string role, so to speak. He was the 1C, I guess you could say. It was just a fun team to watch. And hopefully these guys, if the Lakers get to the next round, hopefully these two guys come back and they can kind of resume the fun vibes that this franchise was feeling for the last 6-7 months.
And let's talk a little bit about JJ. Back-to-back 50-win seasons, first time as a coach. And I like what he said this week, too, about like, hey, I've learned a lot from last year and how we prepared for that week leading up to the Minnesota series. And we're going to be better. That's what I love about JJ. There's always accountability. There's always forward thinking. And just being in that, facility yesterday and you were there, you got a sense that everyone felt that.
Well, so you guys can relate to this, but one of the big parts of the job covering a team is to just listen to the head coach talk every day.
Every day.
Right? It's at practice, it's after shoot around, it's before the game, it's after the game. So when you are covering on a daily basis, like you get to know which are the best ones. And Brez, I know you still get a chance to hang out with Phil Jackson once in a while. That's can't get better than that, right? So that's a standard. And then I won't name names, but there are some where they come in the room and you're like, all right, I'm not sure if that's going to work with the players. JJ Redick, to me, has been very impressive. He's got this combination of just understanding how to talk to players because he, of course, just was one, and he was a role player for a long time, so he knows how to do that. And then he's got the crazy preparation mindset. He's got the banshee thing, right? That just is it. You can see when you just watch him do the interview with me at halftime.
Yeah.
And he, even though he's gotten I think he's calmed some in that, but he's so intense, and that has to be something that a head coach has in the NBA.
I love those, by the way. It's pretty funny a lot of the times too between the two.
But he's on it. Like that's the point. And I think that's what you grew up a Laker fan, right? Like that's what Laker fans want. I think more than anything else, just 100%. Somebody that just really, really cares about every single day, practice games, and so he's brought that combined with his playing experience and just his personality. He's done a great job,
guys. You're off to a great start. Saturday, the Lakers play host to the Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. The game can be seen on ABC, but we'll have pre- and post-game coverage starting at 4:30 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet, and we'll have complete post-game coverage after the game.